Hey there, this is Malorian. This is now the second game of the Cry Havoc tournament, and right now, Malorian's looking great. In the first game there, I got a massacre win, so looking pretty good points-wise, but it's only the first game of 6. In this one here, I'll now be up against High Elves, and the game here is called Free the Slaves. Now, what it is, it's based off a regular battle line. However, there's going to be now an attacker and defender. Something you normally don't get to see in tournaments, but something I actually enjoy. So the way this works is that there's these 10 slaves. And they're going to be all worked out, these Tootsie Rolls and all this stuff. You'll see them there. Actually, I think we actually kind of left them off. But the way it works is that you roll off. The winner decides if they're attacker or defender. The slavers are going to be the ones who deploy first, and then you alternate back and forth. The attacker is the one who's going to get the first turn, and they get to re-roll all their panic tests. The slavers will get 10 slaves that they get to divide up between their units. There can't be any war machines or anything like that, which is a big deal for me. And the way it works down is that you can't have any more than 2. You gotta spread them out, but then if you run out of units like I did, then you have to go to 3. And if you run out of units like I did, then you have to be 4. So spoilers, I'm the slavers. Past this, I'm also, whenever I have these slavers, I cause fear, which we totally forgot about. And the main thing is, it's kind of like when you're trying to capture flags and stuff off of people, right? If you beat me in combat or destroy me, you can take the flag. If I flee, I'll be dropping these slaves. And it's all going to be about controlling these slaves at the very end. Now, each of these slaves, if you hold them at the end of the game, is going to be worth 75 points. So it's pretty good to be able to hold on to them. So me being a dwarf player, being defensive and having these slaves, that's a very good thing. Otherwise, yeah, it's just based off of victory points. The attackers are going to get the first turn. And now let's look at the bonus objectives. The bonus objectives are going to be to hold or recover more slaves than your opponent at the end of the game. So it's kind of tied in what you're trying to do anyway. The second one was to let your opponent be deployed out 18 inches as opposed to 12. And that's something where it's like, oh, do I really want to do this? Because I'm just letting them get a lot closer to me. The last one here is to never flee. And yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, so here's Kevin's army. You can see he has on this side the Phoenix and some of these Reavers. Now with this large building, I put a cannon over here to try and give me a really good line of sight across the battlefield, plus to hopefully we'll pull some things away, because I know it'll take him a couple of turns to get me. I should get a turn or 2 off, and then I can always hop into the building and be annoying, right? And the cannon's only 90 points, so if it pulls stuff away, awesome. Now on this side, I'm trying for something kind of sneaky. Now, he's pretty far up, and that's because I decided to give him the 18 inches. He gave it to me too, knowing I'd never use it. Now, my great weapon guys are all in this building. Otherwise, you can see the rest stuff there, apart from the actual miners. Now, the way that my slavers are is that basically I only have 3 units that can even take it. So there's 3 in the shield unit, 3 in the miners, and then 4 in the great weapons. Now, looking at this, you're like, wow, Malorian, you're an idiot. Look, he can get right past the right flank of that house and destroy all your juicy things. But this is precisely how I set this up, knowing that he would come forward. He's going to have that first turn. I am then going to pop out of the building and then anvil into them. And that way, I can, destroy all those knights. I reform my castle. Good news. This is a little close-up of his army. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can see here he has his Phoenix Guard, and then there's going to be the Lore Master. On the other side, those are going to be just the Silver Helms. I believe he has a BSB in there. Yes, he has a BSB. And there's also this second Phoenix here. And before this, you saw another unit of the Reavers. After his first turn, he comes over like this. Yeah, with his Vanguard, I wasn't really thinking about that, so now I'm going to get a best of one shot and then have to run away. But then he makes my choice easy, and with his little shots he did here, he already did 2 wounds to my cannon. So with this, he's dead anyway. I might as well take one shot and let it die. Otherwise, over here, he does basically what I think he will, except he also puts the Phoenix there as well. And really, I'm not too worried about that, because what that means is I can now pop out, flank the Phoenix, break him, and then overrun into the Knights, and basically hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Those Reavers are trying to be annoying on the left side, but seriously, if they ever were a worry, I can just organ gun them off, and otherwise my warriors will be blocking them. So that's what I do. I pop out with my great weapon guys and use the anvil to go into the flank, and this should be beautiful. And after everything's said and done, it's a little bit less beautiful. One of my organ guns explodes while I'm trying to do some damage to these Phoenix Guard before they come in. I do hit them with the Grudge Thrower and kill some, but man, I really need to do more. But the main thing here is when it came to combat, yeah, I just could not do it. He just killed so many between his attacks and stomps that I believe it was even a draw. So, yeah, that's really, really bad, and now I'm in a lot of trouble. So over here, first step of the trouble is that these Phoenix Guard are able to go into the rear of my great weapons, and yeah, we know that means they're dead. Otherwise here, he charges into my Rune Lord, and the only good thing here is that the Rune Lord is fairly tough and he's unbreakable, so if I can get him to do challenges, might be able to hold him up for a while. Otherwise over here, he charges into my cannon, and that means he's dead. You can see here I grape shot into these guys, and unfortunately didn't panic them. And yeah, it gets even worse because he reduces my weapon skill during the magic phase. And after everything's said and done, it looks like this. So, yeah, my warriors completely destroyed. You know, the Phoenix Guard aren't quite off the board. The one Phoenix is. The other Phoenix is flying over. Yeah, he actually did accept the challenge with his Noble, his BSB, who had the Star Lance. He managed to do a couple of wounds to me, but I'm unbreakable, so I hold. So good news there. He is very defensive, so I won't be doing anything back. But yeah, at this point, me looking at the game, unless I start shooting down these Phoenixes and getting some points and I don't know what, yeah, trouble, trouble, trouble. So my miners come in, and they're here behind the Knights. Now I can't anvil them in because my anvil's engaged, but if I can just hold out a little bit longer, then I can get them in. So at the end of the turn here, I had charged the Reavers. I can't remember if he took it and they were killed or if I just organ gunned them off. But now those are gone. I was able to try and do some shots in the Phoenixes, but they didn't go over as well as I had hoped. And you can see there, good old Rune Lord is still holding him up. So on his turn, the Phoenixes are kind of starting to come in, as well as his other Reavers. His Phoenix Guard turn around. My Rune Lord is down to 1 wound. So I basically get 1 chance to try and get rid of these guys. And so that's what I do. I send in the miners into the rear. And after this time, yeah, this is now looking okay. I've now killed the left Phoenix, so that's something that's gone. I couldn't get anything onto this Phoenix here that's close to me, but it is fairly wounded. It's down to like 1 or 2 wounds. Apart from that, he was unable to kill my Rune Lord. I beat and broke his silver helms, and I stayed there with the miners so that I can, well, get my butt kicked, but I can at least stall him a little. At this point, I'm not trying to win. All I'm trying to do is just get a little bit less of a loss. So on his turn, he has a Phoenix going to the Warriors. That's not too bad. I was worried he's going to go over here and go after War Machines. I'll be, stubborn 9, and hopefully I can plink off that last wound. But yeah, the Phoenix Guard to the Miners, that won't be pretty. But look at this. After getting my butt kicked and doing a wound or 2 to that Lore Master, I rolled double 1s and hold. And this is just critical. So that was very nice of them. Otherwise, yeah, I held and I reformed with my warriors with shields there. So hopefully, again, like either I can break him through combat static res or static combat res, or just do the last wound. But yeah, I just need this bird dead. Gets a few more points. So on my turn, I'm able to do that. I kill the Phoenix. I shoot down the Reavers from the left side. I know my miners are going to die, so I move over the organ gun just to delay those Phoenix one more turn, because now I need to get it. It's just getting down to it here, so I need to deliver my shield warriors to their flank or something. So again, I just need to slow them down. So on his turn, he comes here into the organ gun and overruns into the anvil. So that's kind of bad, but again, hopefully I can hold him up. I don't know. We are completely grasping at straws at this point. So on my turn, I basically just reform the face, and I am in a challenge with his lore master right now, and he is down to 1 wound. I am down to 1 wound, but yeah, it's getting down to it. On his turn, I'm able to kill the Lore Master. So, oh my god, this Rune Lord is a frickin' champ who has, stopped me from being massacred, really. If it's not from this Rune Lord, this game, I would have been tabled already. But now he not only held up the Knights long enough, now he held up the Phoenix so I can actually flank them and score me the points from the Lore Master just for fun. So then, in my last turn, I flank with these warriors, and I'm going to issue another challenge with my Rune Lord. He's going to take it with the champ, and after everything's said and done, they're just going to break, and that's the game. So here they are going. They actually were run down or whatever, but yeah, that's actually a complete tabling, which will score me a massacre. So there you have it, another massacre win. But I was telling Kevin after, I just do not deserve this whatsoever. This should not have happened. I really don't know whether my ploy to, draw them in, hit that Phoenix, and then overrun, whether that actually was the right thing to do or not, or whether there was too much risk. Looking back on it, the real risk there of him doing his attacks, thunder stomping, the idea of me doing wounds to him is fairly low because I become strength 4, so I'm wounding on 6s. So I don't really know if that was the right thing. Plus, we were thinking after, even if this ploy would have worked and I would have destroyed the Phoenix, overran to the flank of those Knights, well, then looking at that there, he probably could have still charged in with the Phoenix Guard and destroyed them anyway. So really what I should have done is I should have had them coming out the other side of the building, between the building and the board edge, just to block them and say, all right, Knights, you have to charge us. Probably kill off a rank, but now we're going to devastate you back. So maybe that would have been the safer option to do, but either way, wow, that Rune Lord was freaking amazing and saved my butt big time. And then those miners as well, rolling a double 1. So looking back on everything, I felt really, really lucky here, but it was a really fun game. When it came to the secondaries, also big points there. I mean, I got, of course, the most slaves. I let them deploy out the 18, and I never fled. So I got a full 3 points for this one, and just looking very strong. So there you have it, and Game 3 coming up. Bye.